it's Sunday morning. I thought I'd share with you a few of my recipes for this week. Today I'm doing a slow cooker one. It's kind of a barbacoa beef, that kind of style that you get at Chipotle. I've got in my pan here some orange oil. It's this greatness one. It's very nice. It's got an orangey zest to it. Normally with this dish you would go for lime, but I don't have any lime, so I thought orange would work well. And again, the cold press, you wouldn't normally heat it, but it is going to impart a nice flavour. So I'm just going to brown off my brisket in here. A pint of beef stock. 2 chipotle peppers. I've got a red onion that I've just cut into quarters. And then this is cubed ginger. There's probably like a big chunky thumb's worth of ginger there. 3 cloves of garlic, 2 squirts then, tomato puree. This is about a tablespoon perhaps of ground cumin, a good teaspoon of ground coriander, a 1/4 teaspoon of white pepper. This is a teaspoon, quite a hefty one, of Italian herb. Normally I would go for just oregano, but I haven't got any. And smoked paprika. This is one of my favourites. A good 2 teaspoons of that. I'm just going to turn the meat over so it's nicely coated. I'm going to put this into the oven with the lid on low all day, so 8 hours it's going in there for. So the beef has done now. I turned it over about 2 o'clock, so that was about 5 hours in, and it was a little bit dry, so I added just more water, about another pint of water, and now you can see it's just falling apart. I'm going to take the meat out of it and blitz up the liquid that's left, because in there you've got those onions, the garlic, the chipotle pepper, and it's just going to, ginger there too, just going to make the paste on it a bit thicker rather than this watery liquid. So this is the beef all separated up, and this is the liquid that remains. I'm just going to get my stick blender into it and pulp it all up and then pour it back over this meat. And then I'm just going to mix this through the meat. It's going to be delicious. And then for fillings, I've got in here 2 avocados. I'm going to mix that with some mint lime from the garden. And then I've got 2 tomatoes in here and a mixture of spinach and rocket and wasabi rocket from the garden too, which I've just ripped up. And I'm going to mix those together. And then also in them I've got some white rice and a big pile of Greek yogurt to cool down some of that spice. So I don't like it too spicy, but I know Trevor does. Tonight we're having scones. These are going to be chive scones, and I'm doing them with like a sausage meat gravy. I saw this recipe, it was actually on Jane Morell's channel. I think her channel is called The Large Family Table. She just did a plain scone and she didn't have chives in it. So this is basically Delia Smith's scone recipe, but I'm missing out the sugar. And I'm going to put in a little bit of cayenne pepper and a little bit of mustard powder. And then you pour in the milk. I'm going to do it probably in 2 bits. Oh, I poured nearly all of it in there. I'm just going to knead it out on the surface now. And so the thing with scones is you want the dough to be really thick. So this recipe is made 6, and this one was the leftover, the irregular one. I'm just brushing the top of them with milk. And I've got a squeezy tube of sausage meat here. I'm just putting it into the pan and I'm gonna brown it off. It will come out. I'm gonna cook it all. I think, you know, if you were doing a meal for 2 people, you would only need half, but it's gonna freeze, and that's always handy for some speedy dinners. And I'm gonna start adding liquid to this. It's a bit paler than I thought it would be. So a tablespoon of flour, and I've turned the heat right down. I suppose it's kind of like making a roux, but instead of putting butter in, you're kind of using the fat that's coming off the sausage meat. And then you add milk to it, and you have to keep adding flour and milk until it's like a really nice thick consistency. And also, I kind of wanted to get this pan a bit deglazed because some of the fat has burnt onto the bottom. So this is starting to thicken up now. I'm going to keep going with stirring it. I did manage to get the stuff off the bottom of the pan, so it's given it some colour, but I just feel like for what's in it, it should be such, I would just think of it as being a rich, thick, dark gravy. I think it's the colour that's, I'm just not sure about. So I am going to go ahead and add a little bit of turmeric to it. But then if it goes banana yellow, that might not be too good either. Okay, I'm going to serve this up. I'm not entirely certain about this one. Tonight for tea I'm doing broad beans and feta with rice. So I've just got the rice in there and some chicken stock. The chicken stock was frozen out of the freezer, so that is defrosting at the same time as it's cooking the rice. But I will have to water it down a bit, so I'm adding some more just hot water to it too. Broad beans as well out of the freezer. These are some of the last things I've got left from last summer. I'm not growing any this year. I thought they were a bit of a pain really to do the picking and the shelling of them. They took a long time and I haven't gone through them that much. These are one of the last beans that I've got in the freezer. So I also put a little bit of red pepper into this, and then I just put the feta and the chives on top and it's ready to go. Chopped up the lamb and I've just got that frying with some pepper. Then in the tzatziki I've got some diced cucumber, which I just took the seeds out of so it wasn't too watery, dill, mint and a little bit of salt with lots of Greek yogurt. And I'm serving it with a big pile of rocket, and the pittas are just warming lightly under the grill, and it's going to be kind of an assemble your own dinner. And here it is all ready to go, lamb pitta breads. Tonight I'm doing leek and potato soup. So I've got the leeks, brine and some butter, and I'm mixing up 300 mils of vegetable stock with a teaspoon of English mustard powder. And then add it to the leeks and add 3 cubed potatoes. I'm going to pop the lid on that until the potatoes soften, probably about 20 minutes. So those potatoes have gone nice and mushy now. I'm going to add 300 mils of milk and blitz them up. You can have leek and potato soup cold. It's called vichyssoise. They have it a lot on Downton Abbey, but I do prefer it hot, even though it's quite nice weather today. I'd rather have it warm. And once it's smooth, it's ready. I use whole milk, so it's really thick and creamy anyway. But if you maybe use skimmed milk, you might want to add a little bit of cream.